Hey guys, how are you? I hope that you had a great weekend. I hope y'all didn't have to work, but if you did, we gotta do what we gotta do, right? Happy eclipse. I hope you guys have a peaceful day because I know that is bringing a lot of tension, uncertainty, and nervousness. Like I have mentioned, even some people even think this is like a biblical event today, and not in a positive way, you know. But we have to be faithful, we have to be positive, and we have to believe that everything's gonna be okay. Just stay on that positive flow and everything will be fine. We have had eclipses like forever. And you know what? Our time is up when God decides our time is up. Not necessarily due to an event, in the sky or anything like that. So let's be very positive, especially during these times, and let's have hope. Let's have that faith that we are protected. All right. Today I wanted to talk about patience. Patience is one of the things that I still deal with that I have to get better at, right? Sometimes I lose patience. Sometimes I want to see things unfold, a certain way. And not necessarily because I want it to happen a certain way. It's meant to happen that way. So I myself have to practice, to be patient, to allow divine timing to do its work, right? Things, happen when they're supposed to happen, not so much when we want them to happen. A closed door can be for protection. And, today I read that a missed train can be, can open up the doors to a new encounter that may change our whole lives. So, when we try to force things to happen, when we try to or even when we're thinking too much about something that we really, really want to happen, we're just delaying it ourselves, because I don't know, it's that push and pull. We have to learn how to flow with the universe, with life. And then things will start flowing. When we are impatient, it's a form of not having faith that things are gonna unfold the way that they're supposed to. As I have mentioned, I do preach about finding yourself, and I have provided some guidance on the tools that I have used that help me get to know myself, but I have also mentioned that even before I knew these things, life was just unfolding the way that I was supposed to, so you don't necessarily need those things, but it's always helpful, to me personally. As I have mentioned, like the human design, they even say it, but I agree. It's kind of like how our lives don't come with a manual. I see human design being as the closest thing to a manual to our lives that I can personally think of. I don't know any other tools that is probably even better than that, for me to say that. But from what I know so far, it is the one tool that I feel like can really help us understand us in a deeper level, right? And it will help us, just if it's just, I mean, it depends on the person, really. It depends on what how you decipher the information, how you put everything together, but how much time you spend on it. But you don't really need it. You don't really need it. Although it's helpful, you don't need it, because life is intelligent, the universe is intelligent, God is intelligent, and things will happen the way that they're supposed to, when they're supposed to. So we have to be very, very patient. you know, there were, I have some plants in my house, and I didn't have the green thumb. So some of my plants, you know, as much as I wanted to like allow them to live for a very, very long time, you know, I watered them and things like that, but I just didn't have that green thumb. But remember that the green thumb is associated to our energy also, and my energy just wasn't there. It wasn't too long ago that my plants started lasting, and they started, you know, actually blooming and getting big and beautiful, you know. But you know, it really like it made me feel bad. It made me feel bad that my plants used to die, because I knew that, you know, the green thumb went with your energy, and I wasn't understanding what was in my energy that, you know, was not allowing these beautiful plants to bloom and flourish and all that stuff. But you know, as I started working on myself and I started being more positive, and by working on myself, really it was learning patience with life, with myself, taking care of my inner self, you know, learning how to meditate in different ways. You know, you don't have to do the traditional meditation that we're used to seeing out there. As I have mentioned, meditating can just be you going to the park and getting on a swing, you know, bringing that childlike energy into yourself, you know. But now, my plants are beautiful. They're, you know, God bless them. You know, they're nice and green and everything. They're, you know, growing. And something that recently happened was that I have this plant. I believe it's called elephant ear, a plant or something. I believe that's what it's called. And you know, it was, at first it only had like 5 leaves, you know, and every time a new one would grow, it, you know, another one would die. So I really thought that was just the way that it was, and I didn't realize that I wasn't giving it enough space for it to grow more leaves. So then I changed it. I moved it to a bigger pot, and sure enough, it started, you know, blooming a lot more leaves than just 4 or 5. But it was like almost a whole year like that, you know, that it just kept growing new leaves and everything, and it was all good with me. But then, to my surprise, recently it started blooming, you know, like the little pot for a flower. So it also has like an actual flower, and that was a surprise to me. I was like, whoa, you know, because even though I should do more research on the plants that I have, so I can help them, so I can know what they're about. You know, I rescue a lot of plants, you know. If I see somebody like throwing down a plant or something like that, you know, I mean, as long as it's not like completely gone, you know, if it still has life in it, I'll pick it up and I'll try to like give it a home. You know, I love doing that. I personally don't like to like, you know, like I don't like to cut down anything. I don't like cutting down flowers or anything like that. But if I find them, you know, then yes, I'll bring them. Flowers, I love flowers, and I will get them from the store if I see it there, as a way of like saving it. It's already cut, right? So it's like, might as well just put it to good use. But I myself I try not to do that. But anyway, so you know, that plant alone, like it helped me understand like how we think that it's over, you know, over in the way like okay, nothing else is going to happen. Because I thought that plant, that was it, you know, it was going to keep growing beautiful, you know, like nonstop and whatever, you know. But I never knew that it actually had flowers, and it was amazing to me. It was amazing to know that there's more to it. Just like there's more to our lives, you know. Even when we think that everything is like done for, or like this is just life, anything, any surprise can come our way. Positive, it can also be negative, but things can always change. We can change that. Life, like us as humans, we're going to experience sadness, happiness, depression, joy, bliss. We're gonna experience those things. The key, especially for whenever we're down, is to not stay there. Let's not get comfortable in those feelings, in the negative feelings, and let's not get comfortable with those things, unless you want to stay there. But I don't think any of us do, right? So while those things, those feelings and emotions are going to continue happening forever, because we cannot control everything around us, and we have to be realistic about that, right? Things are going to bother us. We're not here to be perfect. We're just here to make the best of our lives and experience as much as possible. And experiencing also includes negative things, so that we can grow, we can learn, and things like that. In a way, I wish that wasn't how life was, that we have to go through negative things to learn, but it is what it is right now. This is the reality we're in right now. So let's make the best out of it. Let's try our best, have patience with ourselves, with the world, with the things that are happening around us. But let us have that power that we know we have inside to turn things around, even in the most negative situations. All right? And positive things will come. We have to stay with a positive mind. We have to, know that life is happening for us and not to us. And those closed doors that we may cry about, it may just be our blessing or a protection, So let's not get frustrated when those moments happen, because we never know what's, what we're being blessed with or protected from. And be patient that good things will come. Today may have been a crappy day, but tomorrow may be the greatest day ever. All right? As long as we have that opportunity to make things better the next day, that's a blessing in itself. I know it's so cliche, but everybody, they talk about, like, there's a reason why the now moment is a present. It's a gift. The present time is a gift, and it is a gift, because we get to change everything around all over again. And it all starts and depends on us. Everything does shift based on us, our individual selves. All right? Something else I want to say is, don't get discouraged by anything that anyone says. That nobody knows how things should really be. Nobody. There are some people that might have more wisdom than others based on their own personal experiences, but that's exactly it. That's their own personal experience. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Mother Teresa didn't have to deal with, with somebody that came out of the hood. She didn't have to deal with those things. So maybe it was easier for her to become who she became. You understand? Same thing with me. Even though I say I'm semi-hood and I deal with my own little things, I didn't deal with no real like crazy stuff like I'm pretty sure many people have. Many other people have. So even if I say something, that I'm like, well, my life, this is what's happening, or don't get discouraged. Life is not going to fit everyone's narrative. All right? That's why you have to focus on you and focus on what your intuition is saying, what your heart is saying. Okay? People can give you ideas just like they give me ideas, but I ultimately have to take control of, of doing certain things based on my capacity. And, sometimes, many times, when we see that things are not aligned the way that it is for others, we get very discouraged. we get sad, you know, frustrated, and that can just like put down your whole vibe, you know, and you might even stop trying. You know, we don't want that. You don't want that. You understand? So the best way to do things is, yes, take whatever information can be useful, but things will align with you and what they're supposed to be for you. All right. Sorry guys, there's an ambulance coming. Let me just stop for a second and let's pray that everything is okay wherever they're going. But yeah, you know, even with the eclipse, you know, I found myself trying to find like information on like what to do around this time, you know, what's the best thing to do, you know. And as I was searching, you know, many different people have many different things to say, but what I told myself was just be still. You know, there's no right or wrong way. Again, there is no right or wrong way. Just stand still. I find myself more and more leaning towards following how children live. You know, kids are not worried about these things that we are worried about now. You know, how do I act? How do I do this? They just live, you know. A lot of kids, not all, because some children have to deal with things that they shouldn't be dealing with, you know. But when it's a peaceful environment for a child, you know, a child is only worried about living life and having fun, and you know, and the good things that bring them happiness. You understand what I'm saying? That's what we need to be worried about, you know. Just try to be happy, you know, living life, you know, day to day, with gratitude for another day, with gratitude for all we have, for the people around us, for family. If you know, family is so important. It gives you a sense of like you're not feeling alone, you're feeling protected at the same time, you know. It helps a lot, but not everybody has that. Not everybody has that. So whoever's family, that's family, you know. It doesn't have to be blood, you know. Sometimes blood is not thicker than water. You know. But just try your best to live a life like a child would, through the eyes of a child, you know. Because we didn't come here with certain knowledges of like, you know, like I said, God didn't bring us here with a manual that says, okay, breathe this way, okay, meditate this way, and you have to meditate to do this, and you have to do this to do that. We didn't come with those things. We just came here as kids, playing, and you know, without worries, you know, without knowing how to pay, you know, our next meal, without worrying how to, like, you know, where we're gonna live at. Like I said, not all children, although I pray for those, you know, because they shouldn't be going through those things. But in a normal scenario, you know, they wouldn't be worried about those things. You understand? And while we do have to make sure that we're the ones that provide and things like that, you know, just how our children felt like mom and dad got it, you know, mother earth, father sky, whatever, they got it. All right, we got to put in the effort, you know, of course, you know, like I said, do what's right as best as possible, you know. Be kind to people, be responsible with your responsibilities, you know. Lend a hand, do good deeds as much as possible, you know. And a good deed can simply be letting a car pass in front of you, you know. It could simply be, you know, if you're at a store and somebody's whatever fell, pick it up, you know. Any little thing, you don't have to go too crazy. It can be something simple, you know, something you do for anybody, be it an advice, be it giving them a smile, you know, making their day better, You know, treating each other with love, that's super, super key. You know, one of the blessings that happened to me has been my job. Not because of the money or anything like that, even though of course that helps a lot, but not really because of that. It's the way things happen. I'll tell you guys very quick as my last story. I've been in my job for a while compared to every other job I had. So I've been there, you know, since 2007, something like that, 2006, 2007. The thing is that I was hired as a temp. So, you know, I always count that time, even though according to the company, I've been there since 2007, but I count my other time as a temp. So it was 2006. So anyway, and when I started there, as I mentioned, I was there as a temp, you know, no experience or anything like that. I had experience in what I came in doing, but not in the industry, right? And so of course when I go there, you know, I know I'm a temp, but I'm still gonna do what I gotta do, you know, and even better, because I want them to notice me. I want them to see, wow, we can actually use her, you know, and so that they can hire me. I was looking for a permanent job, but that temp job came in, and it was supposed to be for 4 months. And you know, but even though I was looking for something permanent, I figured 4 months was pretty good money that I was going to be making there, because it was my highest paying job, even if it was temp. So the money was going to be good for me around that time, and so I decided to go through with it. So for the 4 months, you know, the person I was covering was supposed to come back. They had an emergency and they left the country, and they were supposed to come back. 4 months passed, she didn't come back, but I kept doing my thing. You know, I was all over the place trying to learn as much as possible, so that if they didn't leave me there doing what I came in doing, they could probably use me for something else, right? And so, and that's just the way that I work anyway. You know, like to this day, I work the way that I did when I was a temp, to this day, you know? And, so anyway, so 4 months passed, the lady didn't come. 5 months passed, the lady didn't come. And, you know, no notice or anything like that, you know, anything. So, but I was still nervous, because I was like, man, they haven't hired me yet. And although, you know, this lady hasn't been back, I recognize this is her job, you know, and she's going to get it back. But, you know, and I had not saved money through that time. Even though that was the idea, I had not saved money, because, you know, I was paying bills and things like that. I was using money for different things. And so, but then one thing led to another. They really liked me. When the lady did come back, they really liked me. And even though I was still temp, but they said, they figure, you know what, we can use her a lot more than the other lady that only wanted to do this job. She, Yani, is showing that she can wear different hats, you know, without complaint, doing what she got to do, whatever, and above and beyond. And so companies, of course, would appreciate that more, because it's less people they got to pay, right, to do different types of jobs. So when the lady did come back, they offered her a permanent position to leave me where I was at, you know, because where I was at, I was helping a lot. And she didn't accept it, you know, and people were not happy about that. They thought I took her job and everything. I had nothing to do with that, you know. I wasn't trying to take her job. I was trying to get hired, but I wasn't trying to take her job, you know. And at the end of the day, you know, what can I say? She didn't accept the position that they were trying to give her, so they were trying to help her, and I ended up staying. And like a month later, they did hire me permanently, you know. But, you know, I didn't lose faith. I didn't lose faith, and that was a big win for me in my life, you know, because like I said, I'm still there now. And you know, a lot of things have changed in my life because of that job. I've learned different things because of the people that I've interacted with. It has helped me grow through time and everything, you know. So it was a blessing. It was a complete blessing. And you know, things like that happen in my life a lot. But it is because even though I'm not consciously looking to do like okay, let me do this so that God can do this for me, I don't do that. I know that that's not the way we should do things, you know. We should do things because it comes out of us, because it comes out of our hearts, you know, not expecting anything. And I do most of my things like that. Most of the time in my world, I do things like that. When I do expect something from somebody, it's usually like gratitude, you know, or just, yeah, just like a thank you, you know. I usually expect that. But even that, I've been moving away from that, you know, because that's still an expectation. And if you truly want to do things with love for, you know, for that person or whatever, it should just come without any type of expectation, even a thank you. You know, that's on them if they don't, but you shouldn't get bothered if you don't even get a thank you. But it's almost half an hour, guys. I know this video was a little bit over the place, but my whole point really was, let's be patient with our lives. Let's be patient with the things that happen around us, you know. But let's not lose faith either. Let's not lose faith. Let's not lose faith or anything, you know. And just know that, again, life happens for us, not to us. So let's believe in our hearts that God has a better plan. You know, if you're not having a good, if your life is not where you really want it to be right now, there's definitely a plan. But work on yourself, all right? Everything else will come. But work on yourself from the inside out. Remember that we are a reflection of our inside. As within, so without. All right, so I'll leave you guys with that. I love y'all, man. Thank you so much. I enjoy doing these videos for you guys, and I hope you do too. All right. Have a great day.